Hi everyone. So we're back with our podcast, and today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna have a podcast with our team. With Edu is here, of course, and Rebecca. We're happy to have you from all the countries of the world. Although I like Edu's background, like very, very nice. It's a beautiful day in Malta. I can see. I'm unfortunately just in my bedroom, but it is what it is. And Rebecca is all the way back home in the Netherlands. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome, and thank you for taking the time, all of you.
Thank you, really. Appreciate. Good to talk to someone during this quarantine.
And today is gonna be for those of you that have tuned in with our podcast before. We usually talk about some topics. Today, we just want to do something more casually, and we want to just it's a lot of stuff going on with the corona. We're just let's talk about something completely different. So we invited the team. We're gonna do something really cool, and we're essentially just gonna talk about your stories into how you ended up in the sport industry, which is I think is probably a very interesting thing to talk about because there's so many ways of ending up there. And I don't know either if you just want to jump into it and just say hey, how did my journey begin into the sport industry?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Long story. I'm too old to bring back everything. So I always like sports. I would play sports. Used to row to Flamengo and Botafogo between when it was 13 years to I was 20 when I hurt my back.
Right.
And I always went to work with sport, but athlete at the time was not an option anymore due to all the injuries. Right. So I went to the university, got my bachelor's degree. And in 2009, the year that I was about to get my degree, Rio was chosen as the host city for the Olympic Games. And I said, oh, great. Now it's a perfect time, right? Rio is going to booming, a lot of sports events are going to come up. So I think that's what I'm going to do it.
Right.
But after my graduation, I had the opportunity to move to Bournemouth in England to just study English. And when I went back to Brazil in 2011, I started to do my MBA in sports market management.
Right.
And this was in March. Then in June 2011, a couple months later, I got a job at the time I started at the gym only. We had 4,000 members and more than 250 employees. But then as I was studying sports marketing, I told my boss, look, I think we should build a sport agency inside because we have the gym. We have a MMA event that was broadcast live for one of the top broadcast systems in Brazil. And we have all the athletes fighting, right?
Right.
So we had let's build the sport agents. So we used to be a holding, and we control all these assets and want to help each other to grow. So he kind of liked the idea.
Yeah.
The sports was booming at the time, and we started to do the business, started to develop the agents, and I stayed with them till 2015.
Right.
So during this period, I delivered more than 30 live events. We have 2 big fitness events that we brought kind of the facilities of the gym to a big resort in Angra dos Reis in Rio.
Right.
Plus all the activities for the fitness center and all the business that you have to do to handle the athletes, right?
Yeah.
Contracts, sponsorship, medical, etc. So after that, I spent some time look for a job. Then I was accepted to the Rio Olympics.
Right.
16 as a transport manager, and I work at the Olympics and Paralympics. But during all this time, I always want to go back to Europe to study.
Right.
It's something that I realized when I was in England.
Yeah.
And to get a job, as I understood that doing a master would be the best option because then you have to do the internship.
Right.
And so I was looking for some courses, for me to have the money to pay the courses plus pay the fee.
Yeah.
It's too expensive with the exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
To help. So I was looking at where I can have a good education for free. So then I
Right.
was looking at Germany and Norway.
Right.
And I applied for sports school Cologne. I
Yeah.
went into the last phase, but then it was not accepted. It was not accepted. It was only 2 sports for international. You know, I
Right.
think would be person with better profile, better education.
Yeah.
And then I this was in October 2016, right after the end of the Olympics, the
Right.
Paralympics.
Right.
And then they started to open the position for Moda. That was something that was in my radar since 2012.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in March 2017, I was accepted
Right.
to Moda. And I left everything in Brazil. It was not much, but I left my stuff there, my mom, my brother, my grandmother,
Huge step.
and to pursue my master. Then I met you at the end of this year, and here we are. And
Here we
I think
are.
it was the best move I did so far.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I'm extremely happy about it. Like, it was smartest decision you made.
11 years of story in like, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like, and then you moved to the beautiful city behind you, right? Like in your frame. So I mean, like, you can't complain about that.
No, that's
I
my
mean,
couch. Sorry.
it's a crazy story though, for sure. And I mean, like, you experienced a lot, and I think, like, also for you, like, you know, coming from Rio and like seeing all these different places must have been quite a interesting journey for you.
Yeah, for sure. And for people who don't know, like, how mood it is, it's like this, small, like 20,
Tiny
25,000.
bit bigger, but all right.
Yeah, you have the other side, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But coming from a city with 7-8 million people, I don't know,
Right.
crazy, Rio busy, and the move to Moda was
Like with 25,000 people.
I think was a bold move, but
Yeah.
I think the best opportunities come when you take these moves, right?
100%. 100%.
Get out of this red ocean full of people want to do the same thing, and you just
No.
try to do different to achieve your goals.
It gives you a different perspective, and let's dive over to Rebecca, right? Because you also took an interesting step in your internship journey, but like just share a little bit about like why sports, like how did you end up in this world, you know?
Yeah, so I have a little less experience from Edu. I've been around a little less longer, but yeah, same as Edu, I've always loved sports. I've always done sports growing up. I did competition gymnastics when I was younger. And then when I got to like the end of high school, because the system here is very different, and straight from high school you go to uni.
Yeah,
I was thinking like I really want to do something with sports, but the only sports education I knew was to become a PE teacher, and I didn't want to work in education.
Yeah.
But then
like the classic, sorry for interrupting you, but it's kind of like the classic, everyone is like, oh, you're going into sports, so you're either going to be a coach or like a PE teacher. It's like
100%.
No one understands like the massive world of like what the sport industry is. All right.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was the struggle I was having. And then I remember we had this class in high school, and they showed how you had to apply to uni.
Right.
And they used this program, which was back then called Sports Entrepreneurship and Marketing, something like that. And I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. So I went to an open day of that uni. And then when I was there, I saw that they had an international version as well. And I was like, oh, why not? And I was like, let's do it. And yeah, just the sports industry is so different from any others, I believe. And it's such a nice environment, but also competitive, but not too much. I think the sports industry is like an industry that you only understand when you're a part of it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then I got accepted into uni back in 2015.
Right.
And then I had to do various internships.
Yep.
But in 2018, I went to a conference in Sweden where I met you.
Whoa, who knew? Who knew?
Who knew? Where I met you guys. Fantastic presentation. And I was like, you have piqued my interest. You have piqued my interest. And then I was looking for a graduation internship, decided to send you an email, and the rest is history.
Smart move. Smart move.
Smart move. Smart move. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then you
that's
also moved to
basically
Molde. Then you also came to Molde. Crazy.
Yeah, I moved to Molde in October of 2019 to write my bachelor thesis for 5 months. Yeah.
And now you're almost, I mean, like you're done. I mean,
I'm basically
more or less,
done.
you know, you just have
more
your presentation left, which is going to happen
Mhm.
like, I don't know, like next week, right?
Yeah, next week. In a week, exactly.
How do you feel?
I feel prepped. But
That's
I mean,
good.
it's still a thesis presentation. But when working in the office, I got some great tips about presenting, so I feel confident.
All right, that's good. So it's my fault if you fuck up. All right.
For sure.
No. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about, like, obviously it's been a long, like, kind of like, you know, what you guys' stories are in the sport industry, but diving into, like, you know, your journey in SportIn Global, and I mean, like, you touched a little bit upon it, Rebecca, so I'll just kind of like let you continue that. Like, what was it about, like, SportIn Global that kind of like, okay, let me, like, what was it that piqued your interest, essentially, like when you heard the presentation in Malmö, and like, what was like, okay, I'm gonna do this email, and like, this is something that I want to be, you know, part of.
Yeah. So as I said, we watched your presentation. I was together with a group of students from my uni.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, and we were just like, oh, yeah, this actually like makes sense. Sometimes
Right.
pieces just fit together, you know, it just like it clicks, and we were like, oh damn, this makes sense. And I was like, oh, all right. And especially since we're still a startup, like I feel like I could actually contribute something.
Right.
Because I feel like sometimes when you do internships at like really big companies, the
Which
value
you
of your
did, right? Like, you did like Heineken.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like you
Better than Corona.
I mean,
but
stupid joke.
very appropriate right now.
it feels like even though you are contributing and you're helping people out with a lot of stuff,
right,
sometimes you can make bigger steps maybe for a startup because you don't have the facilities or the resources to figure stuff out which you want to,
right,
and then you feel like you're really helping. So that's, and I had to do 3 internships during my entire studies, and I wanted to do 3 very different things.
Right.
And now I feel like I established that, and yeah, it just clicked, and I was like, I want to do this.
I mean, like, from my point of view, I think you were able to, like, you know, get a lot of different, you know, tasks, and obviously just not besides your thesis, right? Which, like, I think you will get like what you hoped, wanted, and get more responsibility essentially to make an impact.
Yeah.
And for sure, like, your thesis and all of the stuff you did is, you know, going to be extremely valuable for us where we're going from here. And you know, you talking a little bit about, like, you went back to, like, I mean, like, you went to Norway, you know, with like literally just like, okay, fuck this shit, I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna like go to Norway, and I'm gonna, like, you know, pursue this master, and like, yeah, it's always fascinating, like, how you came across, you know, SportIn Global sides. It's always cool to share it with people, I think, because it's quite different, because I mean, like, you were also in a very different position than a lot of your classmates, if I'm not mistaken. You know, we're a little bit older, a little bit more experienced, and just share that story, like how you came across SportIn Global, and like what was it about it that you want to be part of, you know?
Yeah, sure. So in 2017, you came to my class to present the idea. It was not like the product, the company established yet. So of course the company was already open, but
right.
Mainly the idea. Yeah, it was mainly the idea behind.
Yeah.
And I remember very well, like, we were in class, and I saw it, like, during the presentation, people are not very, like, paying attention that much, and most of my classmates are very young, and they want, like, have different goals, and I was like trying to start from scratch to change my life. Right. And they were just beginning, like, very, like, 24, 25, 21, 22. So different situation.
Right.
And I was paying attention, of course, like when someone presenting before you in a class, like matter of respect, even if you don't like interest of the topic, like just pay attention. You know?
Right.
And I was looking and I said, well, that's something interesting. So I did my research. Of course, I was every day when I go into the university, I saw your car. I didn't know who you were. I was like the big car, the blue car with SportIn Global and your name on it. And I said, what is this? You know?
The value of marketing.
Yeah, so it kind of works. So after the presentation, you said that you had like 2 internships opportunities.
Right.
And at the time, what I was realized was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna get like internship here in Norway because there's no much opportunities.
Right.
And second, because of the language. And I was expecting university to help us to learn Norwegian, and this doesn't help. So then I went back, I did my research, and when I entered the website, it was kind of a mess. It was not like the information was very confused, but what caught my attention was the board advisors.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 or 3 of them, and then they still are board advisor now. They caught my attention. I think it was Jeremy, was a DC.
Yeah, it was like Tom Hunt and Jamie from Stanford Athletics, you know.
Yeah. So they really caught my attention and said, okay, there's something here. You know, this guy knows someone. And as we all know, and through all the blogs, the interview that we did so far, the industry is about networking, right?
Right.
So I said, like, okay, if those guys are with them as board advisor, something interesting here.
Right.
So I decided to apply for it. No expectations at all. We had the talk, and I just said, like, why you want to work? Like, you have way more experience than we expected. I said, I just want to start it.
Yeah, I remember.
I came here because of this, and then we started to work together in January, like late January, almost February 2018.
Right. Yeah.
So I did my internship with you, like with Nazish.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Then we were talking about the next steps and how we could move forward and keep helping the company, because that is the thing, like I said about in the beginning, about the opportunities, right?
All right.
Perhaps the best opportunities that can show up for you is like where you never expected from.
Yeah.
And at the time, for me, was a great opportunity. Maybe not for my classmates. Right. Maybe it could be for them as well, but they didn't believe in or didn't.
I mean, like sometimes it's hard to like grab the opportunity, that is in front of you. You know, I think like sometimes you're just like so focused on like, no, but I'm gonna do this, and then you don't realize maybe that could be a springboard to wherever you want to.
But it also depends on what you want to do. You know,
right?
It's like,
of course.
Okay, the internship opportunity was there, but it was only the internship opportunity. I was not expecting like to become like co-founder, CMO of the company like
right.
1 year or so. Like I just was looking for internship in a way to enter put myself in the industry again and put myself in the industry in Europe.
Right.
And I always knew like when I get my opportunity, I will make it work.
Yeah.
I trust my work. I trust my skills. Of course, there's a lot to develop, but I know what I'm doing, and I know what I have to do to get there. And it was part of my plan. So I think we did a good job. My internship was well accepted at the university. Like no issues with that. And then we keep working. I was helping you like with the new interns, Elmis and Marcus for a while.
Yeah.
And then start to let's see what the next steps. And in 2019 January we started to work as a full time together.
You got the full time. You got the full time.
But I think I said this to Rebecca is like try to be aware of the opportunities. Perhaps they're like what is there is not what we want, but we can make this work to get what we want, you know. Like I never expect to work with recruitment, but I felt the challenges all my life. So
Yeah.
why not try to do something better? And I know the industry and
Right.
I know the challenges. So why not?
Yeah, I mean, like it's um, just a funny placement of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was
I was
the
like
wire
suddenly
was
just like,
stuck.
what the hell is going on? I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, it's a very good point. I think, like, to wrap it up as well is that you just got to be open, for like new opportunities and what it might lead to, and like even for me, right? Like, I never saw myself starting a company and like especially not in recruitment and like tech, like I'm like fuck tech company. But here we are, right? It's just like a passion of like seeing a problem and doing something about it. And then you find like people that align with those challenges, right? And the more people that do, the better, of course. And that's what we saw. And then, along the way, you find those that are like, understanding it and seeing like, well, this can be part of something, bigger and better. And that's what we're fighting towards, every day here. And glad, of course, to have both of you to be part of it. Well, let's talk a little bit about like some of your, I don't know, like I just want to like bring up like some highlights of your like, I don't know, something that just like what's been your greatest moments like as part of SportIn Global, like funniest or whatever, like random that you like just like that was cool or like that was funny or like interesting, like just like something that I will always remember. I don't know, like Rebecca, I don't know if you
Yeah.
if you already have something on your mind.
It sounds so cheesy to say, but I thought the beta launch was like, oh damn. Also, I was just in Molde for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Got all this information like thrown at me, and then it was like, and we have a beta launch, and it's now, and we're doing this and this and this and this, and I was like, okay, but in a positive way though. I was like, damn, cool. I thought, yeah, that was one of the highlights, and just the general way of working with each other, always giving each other feedback, always like aiming for more,
Right.
giving tips. That was just like general, like top notch.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, like the beta launch party was it's definitely one of my top moments as well, for sure. It's a very special. It was a very special occasion, particularly for me. And then in the city in Molde, presenting this for a lot of people that I know and that are part of the industry. But yeah, no, you were very lucky though on the timing. I would say, like coming in,
Yeah,
literally just like right there. And I remember we moved your internship a little bit, like just to like make sure, because we were traveling so much.
yeah.
Which is also like something that is like super challenging with this. Travel so much and we're trying to make it work. But I mean, like you were literally just like there for like you said a couple of weeks, and then you're at a beta launch party, and everyone's like super hyped and excited and like whoa.
Yeah.
And completely different from like when Edu came in, right? Because like you were actually like seeing a product and like things literally happening. Little Edu had like some
An idea.
like designs
Yeah.
like some shitty designs, I don't know. So like I don't know, Edu, share your I mean, like you've been a part of like a long time now though, like almost from the beginning, and I don't know, you probably like you experienced a lot, and we experienced a lot of interesting stuff on this journey. So like what is your like some key moments, and we don't have too much time, so you can't like pull it that far.
Yeah, it'll be fast. It's hard. It's hard. Of course, the beta launch party was like a big milestone.
Yeah.
But also the app be available to download.
Yeah.
Was something that was very important. Let's say, okay, it's happening now.
It's happening. Yeah.
But it's very challenging and very hard to develop and hold all these specialists, like traveling a lot. Like I'm in Portugal now, you're there, like I'm going back and forth. And then last year we traveled like Portugal a couple of times, then Norway, of course, then Spain,
Miami,
England. We went to London and came back like in 12 hours.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was probably the most intense trip I ever had.
Like we didn't eat at all. Like we just went out of the plane and I rushed to the meeting and like 2 hours in the metro and go
Unbelievable.
back. I almost lost my flight and it was, but the better lunch and I think the release of the app was two great things. But also I can't forget like the first workshop that we did for students.
That was special. Yeah, that was nice.
But it's interesting to see how much we develop and how many things we delivered, and like with so few resources. Like people think, we always say that, right? People want to see what we do.
Yeah.
Fuck, they have like a team with 20 people. Like it's only us and of course the team in India.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, right? And I think it's a very valid point. But I mean, like that's always been like kind of like what we want to achieve, right? Like bring a lot of value. Even like, you know, as you said, the workshop we did, we haven't even talked about the esport event, right? Which we also did, which is, you know, something that we just pulled out of the hat and just made happen. And I think like our ability to make things happen. I mean, like, of course, like the app itself and like the platform, you know, it's a long process. And as you said, it's
the panel in Sevilla.
Panel, you know, diversity panel is Sevilla. I mean, like, damn.
We have the presentation in Lisbon for the university. We have the web summit. We had startup ground. We have the case study with SoccerX in Miami.
Yeah. There's so much stuff.
At the end of the year, I was like, fuck, I'm tired of travel. Like, sorry for this.
Imagine like being tired of traveling, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can get some rest now.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not, you know, that's it is what it is. I mean, like, yeah, no, now, like, after this, like, I think our urges for traveling is building up. I don't know, like although I'm not like
I told me yesterday I was like looking all my photos from Norway, like this photo, like another, like I don't know, I have like 300 photos from Malta, like the same horizon with the mountain, the panorama.
Right.
I said I have to go back.
No, for
sure.
a
week, but I have to go back.
And you will. When everything is starting to like calm down a little bit, it's gonna happen. But I want to talk about like something like super random though. Like obviously, like for those of you, like I don't know if you know, but we like create like a TikTok account to make like some really fun videos there, you know, too. Like I don't know, we had like a lot of fun in the office just making like some weird ass videos, and it's always like the ones that you don't think is gonna be funny that you're just like or like just post it anyways, and then that's the one is like, you know, people were liking. Like even like you remember like when we made like the big head, like small like yes, no, yep, no, and like
the big head was the best video you did.
But it's not even like
but we
that
were like
crazy, right?
We were like, this is so random, and then it did so well. We were like, when you think you figure out TikTok, you haven't.
No, it's super weird, but it was a lot of fun, and also like,
we had all the FIFA Fridays with pizza.
FIFA Fridays is kind of like a cool moment to just like, again, it was something I wanted to do just to like, you know, bring people together and like, you know, you talk a lot about like, okay, but like just remember like there's a lot of students here and like, you know, maybe not a lot to do, you know, Malta is a small city, like let's do something, you know, to like keep the motivation going, keep like, you know, have like some fun elements, and we're a young company, right? So we just wanted to do something cool, and when we first are into like those FIFA Fridays, like so I've been playing like this game like called Apex, which you guys know and probably hate me for at this point. I don't know. I probably played it way too much.
I won with just one shot.
I know, like you were just a total camper. You should play Call of Duty.
I'm the absolute worst.
The fun is, oh my god, you should have seen Rebecca play. Oh my god,
it was the absolute
probably the most hilarious thing I ever watched in my life. So we were like having like this special event, like the Halloween event, and like this kind of like the thing where it's like at night and, you know, everyone is like super creepy and scary, and then she gets shots on and like she's like, where is it, and then like you literally is just right next to each other and they just keep like shooting and punching each other and like nothing happens, and it's like so bad, like no one is hitting each other, and I'm just laughing so hard. It was hilarious, probably the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
We had great moments so far.
Yeah, we have, and we will create a lot more.
Sure.
And before like this probably meeting here is about to like wrap up. I'm just gonna like, you know, we could probably talk about this for like so many hours, and we're probably gonna bring like a couple more podcasts around like with the team and just talk about different stuff. So with that, everyone, you know, like keep staying safe in the Corona times. Enjoy the stuff, and we will back with a new podcast, you know, before you know it. So keep safe, and thank you, Rebecca, Edu, you know, for being part of this. And it's gonna be way more. It's good to have you guys in part of the podcast and blogs as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca, and good luck with your thesis presentation. The thesis is great. I read everything. I'm just looking through like one of your articles like that you put as a reference. So good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, we talk later, and we always finish with Visnakis.
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 All right.